Today's episode of the Girl Which Way podcast is brought to you by my girls from TikTok who have helped my Shalia Vinny account to get to over 100,000 views in just 2 days. Your support and willingness to speak your truths in these comments and those private messages to me have inspired this episode. This is for my girls. I see you, and I did this one just for you. Hello and welcome to the Girl Which Way podcast, the show that exists because life is a journey, but you still need direction. Grab your girls and get ready because each episode we're going to be talking about our real life issues, answering questions, and building solid relationships with one another as we heal and learn. I'm your host, your girl, Shalia Vinny, and today's show is all about walking away when it's not easy. We'll discuss the ins and outs of being in a tough relationship and the signs that it's actually time to leave. You guys ready? Ladies, have you ever loved a man? I mean that feel it in your soul, never let it go kind of love. You give him your very best efforts and do everything you can to make sure he knows how loved and special he is to you. He stretches you and makes you want to be the best version of yourself for him. You want to share his last name and give him babies and make a life with him. You can't believe how lucky you are that you have found what so many women complain there aren't many of, a good man. He treats you well and looks lovingly into your eyes and constantly makes you feel as though there's no one else in the world for him but you. Your love only grows fonder each day, and you thank God for allowing you to experience this kind of love until one day you wake up and the other shoe drops. One day you get this gut instinct that something just isn't right. You know, I always listen to this feeling because I think God talks to us through our gut. You know, that little voice, I really believe it's God. God will always make sure that what is done in the dark comes to the light sooner or later, and here it is. Now, sis, I know this feeling, and it can disrupt your life like nothing ever. You break into a cold sweat, but you feel hot and your forehead's dripping sweat. Your stomach tightens up and butterflies are ferociously fluttering while you feel like you have to have a bowel movement at the same time. Your heart is beating so fast and loudly you can hear it, and you feel like you may pass out from the sheer adrenaline happening all at once inside of your body. You feel devastated and flashes of rage all at once. How could he do this to you? How could he betray your trust? How do you get over this? What are you supposed to do? Like, what is the plan? Do you confront him? Do you mess his stuff up? Do you punch him in the face, bust the windows out his car like Jasmine, or take a Louisville Slugger to both his headlights like Carrie Underwood? It's so many different emotions going on at once that it's hard to even make the decision. You're embarrassed and, how is everybody going to react in your lives? Like you have so many friends and family. What are they all going to say? If you have children, this is the end of your familial unit and their normalcy is going to change for sure going forward. You begin to feel every single emotion of the grief spectrum at once. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally, acceptance. You go from the he didn't do this to us to how the hell could he do this to us to maybe it was something I could have done differently to crying your eyes out before finally accepting the fact that this man is not who you thought he was all this time. You have a discussion with him about his extra relationship affairs, and he immediately goes into the I'm sorries and I didn't mean to hurt you. She means nothing. It was only sex. I'll never hurt you again. Please don't leave me speeches. He says he'll change and he promises that he's going to get his act right. Either one of two things happens at this time. You say, forget that, and you just walk away at that very moment, or you decide to give him another chance. Now, if you're the woman who walked away after the first discussion, good for you, sis. I mean, seriously, good for you. You cut things off and you never look back. But I want to talk to my sisters who opted to stay for whatever reason. I want to talk to my sisters who weren't ready to go after the first time because, you gave him the benefit of the doubt and you believed him thinking everyone can change and believing that he really did love you deep down. Now, if she is you, let's talk about that. No judgment, babe. I get you wanting to make your family work. You love this man, and I feel you. You forgave him, and for a while, things did change. He was doing everything he promised he would. He changed how he came and went and how he communicated and how he loved you in general. He was determined to make you realize how sorry he truly was and to show you that you could believe in him again. And slowly but surely, things went back to normal. I mean, it wasn't easy because the trust was broken, but you did find your way back to the love that you once shared before the betrayal, and things were good until they weren't. Now, some time has passed since he started putting on his goody two-shoe routine, and you start to notice things that trigger you and cause you to be concerned that there's some BS going on again. And lo and behold, you confirm your suspicions and prove your theory to be right. This time, it's even worse than the last time because you've just rebuilt that trust, and for it to be destroyed again, like, you can't even fathom this. You can't believe this. Your heart is in shambles and you feel so stupid for believing and taking him back only to have him make a fool out of you. You confront him again, and just like the first time, he starts with the baby, baby, please, and I'm sorry's. You've had enough, though, and you're ready to leave once and for all, but there is a little something holding you back. How can you be 100% sure? I mean, he is a good man, outside of the fact that he steps out on you from time to time. He tries to cover his tracks, but God is a good God, and he always reveals the truth to you. You're not sure you have the strength to leave. You start asking yourself, like, is it the right thing? Like, am I really being, too hasty? Should I think about this? Now, can I also note that some women have replayed this scenario more than twice and hasn't left yet because she truly doesn't believe she deserves better yet, or she's afraid of starting over? To any of you guys, no matter what the situation is you identify with, sis, you do deserve better. Today's episode of the Girl Which Way podcast is brought to you by my girls from TikTok who have helped my Shalia Vinny account to get to over 100,000 views in just 2 days. Your support and willingness to speak your truths in these comments and those private messages to me have inspired this episode. This is for my girls. I see you, and I did this one just for you. So we've been talking about being in a relationship and in love with someone who isn't emotionally able to give us back the effort that we put in. Loving someone this way might seem like it'll work for now, but it's actually doing a number on you, and it's time to see the relationship for what it is, not what it could be. So here are 5 ways to know it's time to say goodbye. Number 1, you can't fully be present because you're afraid. With everything in you, you want to love this man with your full capacity. You want to be his everything and give him your all, but you are terrified. You feel like you're cruising for bruising, meaning this won't end well. You're afraid that as soon as you give him your all again and excel, he will make you regret it and break your heart into a million pieces. So you give him some of your heart, but not fully like you used to. The good news is you love this man so much that even pieces of your heart are enough to sustain him more than the pieces that he could ever give you of his. It's still not coming from the same place. Number 2, he tries to make you feel like his behavior is normal and he's just being a man. He says stuff like, it's different for men. You don't understand. Just because I do what I do with them, I don't love them. I love you. It's just sex. I'm never going to actually leave you for them. You're looking at this too deep, babe. All men cheat. We're wired differently than women. No, sir. You are a narcissist and an egomaniac, and you need Jesus today. He calls you a drama queen and hates when you want to discuss his issues. Number 3. Whenever you try to discuss the past, he gets upset and asks you, why do we have to have this conversation again? He gets angry and starts threatening you with stuff like, you see, you don't trust me. What are we even doing together? We should just go our separate ways, because he hopes you'll back down. You are absolutely right for wanting to talk about your feelings with the person responsible for those feelings. He's a butthole for not allowing you a safe space to heal properly. There are so many words left unsaid, and it's not fair to you. Number 4, you don't really feel safe with him. You feel his love is not really matching yours. You feel like you love him way more than he loves you, in a bad way. You wish he could be as loyal and see you the way you see him, but you know deep down that he doesn't, so you never really feel safe with him because you feel like if your efforts and energy aren't matched, the downfall is inevitable. Number 5, you don't feel you can trust him. Perhaps it's because he has shown you this himself, but when he tells you that you can trust him, you feel deep down like it's a lie. You feel like he tells you what you want to hear instead of making real efforts to be better. You always have a sinking feeling that he's going to destroy your heart again. Sis, he doesn't want to change. Love is a beautiful emotion. In fact, I think it's my favorite. But if that love makes you feel low, and if that love makes you question your sanity and your beliefs, and if that love takes more than it gives, and if it asks you to serve more than it serves you, if it leaves your cup empty because you're constantly filling up theirs, is it even love? Love is meant to be reciprocated. Love is not what you say, it's what you do. As you know, love is a verb. Love is supposed to be work between two people. I said two people. You can't be the only one doing the work. It's too hard and heavy a load to carry alone. If this love leaves you empty and underappreciated, if it makes you long for more, if you find yourself in a fight with your mind and your heart and you're constantly defending your relationship more than enjoying it, you know what time it is, my love. My fear is that you'll stay with this man until he squeezes every bit of love you have left out of you. I don't want you to get to the point where you start believing that all men are this way and are too afraid to even talk to anyone else out of fear of this same betrayal. Not all men are the same. Don't allow this one to kill the love that's in your heart that God gave you to give to the man that he has for you. God always has better for you. You just need to get out of the way. You deserve someone who wants to be with you and desires to actually give you what you're looking for. Do you realize there are literally men out there praying for a woman like you, and you're over here entertaining someone who has made it clear he will not be what you need him to be? Sis, drop Future and wait for God to send your Russell. I love you, and I'm praying for you always. Today's show was brought to you by the beautiful women following the Shalia Vinny page on TikTok. I love you. I thank you for the support. Please rate the show on your favorite streaming platform and share it with one person who you think needs to hear it, and please ask them to do the same. Remember, good, better, best. Never let it rest. To your good is better and your better is best. Until next time, your friend and motivator, Shalia. Bye.